Yo, what's up guys? We're covering chapter 52 of the Shiunji Family today, and yeah, let's just hop straight into it. From the last few chapters, it seems like we are officially now in a Banri arc. We've got a little bit of her backstory, a little bit of her drama. We're kind of feeling out where she fits in as a character in the series. From the last few chapters, it seems like Banri is kind of in an abusive relationship. But the thing is that she doesn't feel comfortable enough to talk to her family about it. Her reasoning being is that it's just too early for kids to get involved with it, right? I mean, she's only 19 years old in the story, but still, I guess she is the oldest sibling and she wants to present herself as well put together, but as we're starting to see in her character, she might be one of the most immature characters in the series. The only person who really knows what's going on, and only kind of a little bit, is Arata, right? Because he saw her taking a shower the other day and how she was crying, and we saw the bruise marks on her arm. But yeah, hopping into the chapter, we see Arata is very conflicted. He doesn't, he's just working out and he was thinking about what happened the night prior. And basically we hop into the chapter with Oka trying to interview Banri about her boyfriend and how they met and just all the little girls talk about love. I mean, this is very warranted behavior, because Oka is a fiend for love. She's very interested in love talk and being in love and what that feels like. So it's super part of her character, especially because she doesn't really know the serious side of it. Everyone's just kind of acting normal because no one knows any better. And yeah, Banri's basically saying, oh, I didn't mean to keep it a secret. I just never had a good opportunity to tell you all. And yeah, Oka just keeps asking different questions about the specifics of the guy, because yeah, she's never seen her before and she's just curious. And basically her thought process of this guy is that he's just a super dreamboat, high quality man, and it's super fitting for Banri. Banri just said that at the beginning she didn't know how she felt about him, but he was just so assertive that one day she just kind of fell in love with him. That's the story that she's telling Oka. And then this is when Arata walks in and joins into the conversation, but he did promise Banri that he would not say anything about what was going on, right? So he just kind of gives a little dejected response, just kind of something signifying that he's not really into it that much and just trying to avoid it a little bit. But yeah, he just thinks back to the night before about all the things that happened, and then he comes to the realization that this guy might be abusive. I mean, yeah, from what we've gotten so far in about his character, what we've seen of him, it's he doesn't really want to be seen out in public with Banri for the most part, it kind of looks like. And then what we get of when they are together, or theoretically together, some abusive behavior goes down. But yeah, I mean, really, Arata's just thinking to himself, what is he supposed to do in this situation? Because his sister said, don't tell anyone about it. But this is one of those situations where you kind of need to, tell people about it so you can get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I do like this arc, just the design of it, because we are getting a different side of romance, right? We don't get this too much in most rom-coms. The only thing is that I don't like how Banri's character is being very incompetent, right? But I guess that is kind of a good trope for her character. I just think the situation is a little too extreme for it. Her character design is good in the way that she's super reliable and, presents herself as kind of a motherly figure and has everything put together. But in her private life, and deep inside, she's more of a loose-ended character. She doesn't have everything really put together, but that's just the way that she portrays herself. I feel to me, that's a good character design. But yeah, I just think the situation is a little crazy. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes and how it plays out. But yeah, Banri is still acting normal, so she does not want everyone else to know, basically. And Arata's keeping the promise for now. And yeah, once they're done conversing, Banri, I think, is walking to her room or something, and Arata goes and confronts her, right? And he asks, did you have a fight with your boyfriend, or what happened? And Banri says, yeah, it happens sometimes. But Arata's still, concerned, and rightfully so. But yeah, Banri is just trying to play it off and taking the approach of sometimes people just lose their cool, right? I don't personally think this is the best way that she should be thinking about being in a relationship with somebody. Of course, people make mistakes, but as we've seen, even in this short amount of time with the character, we can kind of see it's a toxic relationship. But yeah, Arata's saying that even though he has all these good credentials, all these good stats, if he doesn't treat you well, there's so many better people for you. And yeah, Banri just still acting like she has everything figured out, everything all together, and just teasing Arata. And yeah, she's just looking at the good points, right? She's actively ignoring this guy's bad points, right? She's actively ignoring Kyo-chan's toxic behaviors because she likes his good, like the good points of him. And yeah, I guess she just doesn't want to worry about it too much. And I think she's kind of delusional in a sense, where she's a little too optimistic of this relationship. In the end, she kind of just brushes off the whole situation, saying that just count yourself lucky that you got to see your sister naked, which is a crazy statement, but just remember that they are step siblings, but still that does not make it, well, they're not even step siblings, they're not even siblings, they're not related, they're adopted, but like, bro, I just yeah. But yeah, she's basically just dodging the questions, doesn't want to say anything about it, doesn't want to talk about it really. Arata is thinking to himself, something needs to be done. Because yeah, we do see her just like really avoiding the negative parts of the character and just not even saying anything. Like when she was talking to Oka about her boyfriend, she was talking about him so positively to the point where she wouldn't think anything was going wrong in the relationship. So yeah, basically Arata's just thinking about what needs to be done, and he doesn't really know, he's confused. But yeah, we cut into the future a little bit, and it's Banri out with Kyo-chan. And what's happening here is, I guess they're on a date or something, and Kyo-chan holds out his hand because he wants to hold hands with Banri, but Banri's kind of apprehensive about it. She doesn't really want to do it. She's saying there's too many people, but Kyo-chan's like, I want to hold your hand. And then Banri kind of concedes, and then Kyo-chan aggressively grabs her hand, and then they start walking. And that is the end of the chapter. What comes to mind when I think about this, right? I think Banri is kind of uncomfortable in this relationship, but just doesn't know the best way to go about it because she is the oldest sibling and they don't have like a parent, like parental figure in their lives to kind of guide them. There's no guiding figure that can help them navigate situations such as these, you know, toxic relationships and love and all that stuff. As we see, what is apparent in the story is that their mom isn't in the story, and then their dad just shows up occasionally, and when he shows up, he just throws some bombshell on them. So yeah, I think that what's gonna happen probably in the story is we're gonna have another abusive event happen, which is, you know, very unfortunate. But I think that's just the way that it's gonna have to happen, to the point where all of the family members kind of see that something is wrong with this relationship, and then Arata comes and saves the day. That's how I personally think something's gonna happen. Maybe something potentially could happen on this outing that they're on right now, and Arata kind of shows up. Like maybe Banri gets too uncomfortable and calls him for help. But I do think another event's gonna happen before Arata steps into the story, or any of the family members step into the story to help. I just think right now, we're kind of at a point where Banri needs to break this character of being super self-reliant and independent and kind of ask for help, right? And basically she needs to show that she doesn't have everything put together and everything isn't right in her life. And yeah, I went back and I did see some of the translations. The premise of what Banri was trying to say is, yes, she thinks it's just too early for the kids to get involved with the situation that she's in right now. I mean, that's really basically about it. It's kind of the worst situation has to happen here for the story to move forward, in my opinion, right? I think it would just be kind of weird if Arata just shows up to this date or whatever that they're outing that they're going on right now, like unwarranted, to try to stop everything. But yeah, I do hope we get more Kyo-chan interaction within the next few chapters, just so we can kind of flesh out his whole character design. But we do kind of get a gist of it, right? We kind of get that he's kind of introverted and he has his stuff put together, but he is a little bit toxic. But we don't know the specifics. You know, maybe Banri's just crazy and starts fights for no reason, but judging by her character, what we've gotten so far in the story, that doesn't really seem like her. But yeah, that's really about it, and I'm not sure if there's gonna be a break next week or what's gonna happen, but whenever there's a new chapter, I will cover it. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya.
I run away, into the world with you. I'm not afraid, there's nothing more